Good to see you. Go around there. Kurt Russell. Nice to see you. How are you?
Good. I had a good time last time I was here.
Yeah, how long ago were you here?
It was a couple of years ago. I forget what it was for, but I was pushing then.
I think it was more recently than a couple of years, was it?
I don't know.
Well, anyway, you're back, and that's all that counts. What part of the country are you from originally?
Maine.
I see. So is it, it's not really that unusual for you to be in New York holiday time, is it? You would probably come down here as a kid, maybe?
I've done it before.
Yeah. Are you did you have a nice Thanksgiving?
We had a great time. We had a great Thanksgiving, and then yesterday we were at, our day before, I guess, I took the kids to Macy's, you know.
How many kids are we talking about?
3 to begin with, and then after the robber ran down the escalator, I, picked up the baby.
There was a robbery where you went?
It was fun. It was interesting. I said, this is New York, kids. It's great.
Was this scheduled by the store as part of the holiday celebration?
We didn't quite figure it out because he was coming down the wrong way, and I thought, that's not too smart.
And how old are the kids?
12 and 9.
Yeah. Were they frightened or excited?
No, they were excited. Well, they're from Los Angeles. This looks pretty neat.
Yeah, there's no crime in L.A., is there?
That never happens.
Get in your car and ride on the freeway and bingo!
Yeah. Well, that's why they were smart. I used to sound a little more serious.
So, and what else did you do to celebrate? Everybody get together and you have a nice big dinner and stuff?
We had Thanksgiving dinner with Goldie's sisters, Patty, and it was fun because Goldie's mom, who was sick last year, come back. She's real good. And
doing well?
Yeah, she's doing good.
Now you and Goldie, help me out here, are not married.
Now, Goldie and I are going to get married next Sunday. Oh, yeah, sure.
Are you? Is that true? You actually?
I've also got some land for sale in Florida.
See?
No, we're not going to ever get married. I don't know why. We never talk about it. I just said that because I guess.
But isn't it interesting the response that you get?
I know, God, that's great.
Yeah, we're getting married Sunday. Boom! We'll be there. We'll buy you a toaster.
I'm surprised. I thought we.
Now, have you been married before to anyone?
Yes, I was married.
Yeah. And describe for me the experience of being married and now the experience of being with a woman and not being married and having children with this woman.
David, say that again. What?
I don't know. But you know what I mean.
I think I know what you mean.
Is there any difference? Of course there's no difference. Really?
Yeah. If I understand the question right. Yeah. My life's happy now. I wasn't so happy before.
But that has nothing to do with being married or not being married. Perhaps you had the wrong person in your life then.
Yeah, well, either that or the right lawyers now. You know how that goes.
That's what a tender thought that was. At any rate, how long have you and Ms. Hahn been?
We've been together for almost 6 years now.
6 years, and you have a child, 2 children?
Now, see, why doesn't that elicit applause these days? I think it's happier to be together for 6 years than 3 lousy years of marriage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you've got a point.
All right. She's the best. Goldie's the best.
I don't want to wear this out because I know that there's no point in it. It's your life, and you can certainly lead it any way you want. But do you foresee a time or a circumstance down the road that would cause you to get married?
Well, obviously, I'd talk to you first. Yes, I can. Yeah, I can.
And what would the circumstances be?
If the kids finally just said, if we don't know why you're not married, we'd get married.
Yeah. Has that topic come up heretofore?
Well, it's come up, but they've never said that. They've always said, why? What's the difference between being married and not married?
Yeah.
And we tell them we don't think there is, except that we're happy now.
I see. And Goldie feels the same way about this?
If Goldie wanted to get married, I'd get married to her like that, and vice versa. She feels exactly the same way.
Yeah, so then essentially what we have here is an engagement period with kids, pretty much.
I like that.
That's about all it is.
I like that.
Well, that's all right.
It feels like that.
Good for you, as long as you're happy. How many people today can say that they're happy?
I'm lucky.
You can say that.
Yeah. I think I'm in love with a girl that the rest of the world's in love with. So.
Does Goldie know about it?
And that's what I like about her, David.
It's only a joke. Anyway, I'm glad you could be here on Jumpsuit Night. We have to do a commercial. We'll be right back with Kurt Russell. Some memo concerning you?
Well, I don't know if that's true, but what happened was a couple of months later, I was doing a show there, and they came down to the set, and they got me, and they said, come up here, we want to show you something. And they had taken his office, and they had, I guess, made it like a museum.
Right.
And everything was as when he died. And the person who showed me the thing took me around behind the desk and said, see here, on the desk there was a piece of paper, and she said, see, there's your name. And so I looked down, and it said Kurt Russell. He said that was the last thing he wrote. So what you're getting to, what the thought of me killed him, right? I mean,
No. But do you believe?
I finally put him in the ground.
Do you believe that?
I don't know. I don't know if it's...
It'd be interesting if they took all of the actors and stars they had under contract and walked them through there, and then just substituted their name in there. And they get kind of teary-eyed and
I think you're right.
You must have known Walt Disney then?
Yeah, we had a great time. He reminded me an awful lot of my grandfather, and we had the pleasure of playing ping pong with him.
Is that right?
Yeah,
was he a good ping pong player?
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah. Was he essentially a nice guy?
Yes, I thought.
Was he the kind of guy that you could always tell was working on ideas and inspirations coming to him left and right?
So whenever I watched him, he invited me to the theater one day to see, a picture in progress, and I watched the show, and then after the show, he turned to me and he said, what did you think? And I sort of looked at my mom. I was 14, I guess, or so, and she said, well, tell him the truth. And I said, well, I thought it was okay. Yeah. He said, but you wouldn't tell your friends to see it. I said, no. And he said, he just real quick turned to these guys and he said, get me a pencil and a paper. And he says, we need some penguins. Get me the animators. And I watched these guys come in the room, and he created, from my knowledge, he created the animation to what would become Mary Poppins.
No kidding.
And it was, it's kind of like watching genius in action.
Yeah. So in addition to be a really good mind for marketing, he was quite creative. He was really.
He just seemed like your grandfather.
Yeah.
And he was just real smart, and he was very intimidating to those, I think, who couldn't appreciate his reality.
Right. How old a man was he when he died?
I don't know, 66 maybe? I don't know.
And that story about him being frozen someplace is not true?
Well.
Really?
I don't know. Do you?
Well, no, I don't know, but... was he... I mean, you knew the guy. Would...
I think he's frozen. I don't know.
Do you really?
No, I'm just...
I mean, no, was he saving mittens or anything when you knew him?
It would be nice to think that he's frozen, I guess, and would come back.
It's unbelievable to think what he has, well, that too, but what he started and what it's become. I mean, Disneyland.
It was interesting. I got to be there at a period when it wasn't doing so well, in the mid and late 70s. Right?
Oh, the film studio.
Yeah, and it's a pleasure to see that the studio come back to its real potential of power, and it certainly is there now.
Yeah. Tell me about, I don't know what you talk about, the movie or your offshore boat racing?
Offshore boat racing.
Right,
I was going to bring you, can you talk to somebody and get me one of your T-shirts? I lost the last one you gave to me, and I really like that. I'm serious. Sure. And I was going to bring you a T-shirt tonight from something, from the powerboat. Yeah, Popeye's...
the fried chicken guy? Yeah.
Al Copeland did the food for a hunting event that I put on this year. And he did a great job, and I sent him a thanks, and in response, I got this offer to be the fourth man on the fastest offshore boat in the world.
These things are like 35, 40 feet long, longer?
60 feet long.
60 feet long?
It's just 60 feet, 4 engines, all gas, and 4 guys. And it was really a blast. I guess we averaged 110 or 15 miles an hour.
And on the water, that must just be, yeah.
On the water,
when
the boat comes off the water, it
yeah.
feels pretty weird. And as a matter of fact, in that race, it was the first time I'd been in one of those boats, and I just would love to do it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But that's going to be very expensive, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, you got to get a ride. I guess you got to get sponsored. Don Johnson, as a matter of fact, Miami Vice Don Johnson won that particular race. And
now, wait a minute.
I figure if Don can do it, I can do it.
Now, so, he won the race, or he just happened to show up at the pier when the winning boat came in. I mean,
I don't know. We weren't there.
Yeah,
so.
He's out trawling for carp and decides.
Yeah. You never know with those.
He won the race. It must be an unbelievable sensation.
It was what I thought it would be. Actually, it was exhilarating, and it's something that once there's obviously, it's like anything you do fast. You want to take it to that as fast as you can go without killing yourself.
Yeah. And we should talk about your movie Tequila Sunrise, but we're out of time.
Good.
Good.
It's an interesting movie.
Has it opened yet?
It opens Friday.
We saw Mel Gibson was here a couple of weeks ago.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Michelle's great.
Yeah.
And Bob Town's great. And the movie is from what I understand, real good. I haven't seen it lately.
Good for you.
Okay.
We'll get you the shirt.
Okay, great.
Kurt Russell, kids, and we'll be right back.